listening to the 40 Thrive podcast, the show created for women 40 and beyond, ready to shake things up. And now, your host, Jackie McDougall.
Welcome to another episode of 40 Thrive. So once in a while, you meet a woman over 40 who's just killing it. She's busting through the fear, embracing midlife with such boldness, she inspires everyone around her. My guest today is doing exactly that. Martina Kwan. Born in Hong Kong to a German mother and Chinese father, Martina was destined for a life that was different. She spent her childhood in Asia, the Middle East, and Europe, but credits living in war-torn Beirut, Lebanon, between the ages of 8 and 10 as an experience that defined much of her fearlessness today. Martina's unique path in life has shaped her into a woman of drive and determination. So if you took even a quick glance at Martina Kwan's bio, you'd get an immediate feeling you're reading about the life of like 5 people, 2 Master of Science degrees, a successful corporate career, owner of her own award-winning company, a race car driver. The list goes on and on. But while her life is remarkable, as Martina will tell you, her story was anything but uncommon.
I think as a mother and a business owner, prior to turning 50, you kind of lose yourself as a woman. And I kind of forgot who I was, and everything revolved around taking care of everyone else. And what happened to Martina?
It took a trip halfway around the world to find herself and discover what really drives her.
I took a trip to Dubai for business, and I went and did something that I really enjoyed as a child, which was ride a horse in the desert. And that's kind of the moment that crystallized. I remembered who I was. I remembered what I enjoyed doing. I had gone to a few track days, and I knew that I really enjoyed it. But that was the moment that I said, I want to dedicate myself to becoming a race car driver.
And from that moment, Martina was all in.
For the last 3 years, I haven't missed one racetrack event. And it's been a whirlwind. I drove my car that I converted from a street car eventually to a race car in a certain class. And I was determined to win that championship. So now we're at year 3 and 3-time champion.
A woman over 50 and a badass on the racetrack. But it was actually decades earlier when Martina first discovered her independent spirit.
I think actually it was in Hong Kong when I first started school at the German International School. And I realized that I was more independent and more bold than my older sister. And so we got to school, my mom dropped us off, and I was just like, come on, let's go. I realized that I was sort of an independent person, and I was pretty courageous already then. Although there are fears, of course, that, it was sort of a personality trait of mine, being independent.
That independence has served her well.
It actually really helps when you want to have a business career. So my career was in finance and accounting in New York City, one of the toughest places to work in the male-dominated finance and accounting industries, Wall Street. I found that with the male controllers, we would do audits at different jobs, that I did find myself having to prove myself every time I walked in, oh, here's a girl. And so you kind of have to prove yourself a little harder, work harder than the guys.
Martina was at the top of her game in her male-dominated career in Wall Street. But she decided to leave that behind to enter another male-dominated industry, car racing, showing the guys and herself what she was made of.
I think it's more showing myself who I am. By nature, quite competitive, and the expectations were rather high growing up. But yeah, I really enjoy competitive sports where you have to practice a lot. It's not just something you do and you get like day one. It takes a lot of time and effort and focus. And I really enjoy that process of getting better and better.
Getting better and better is something Martina strives to in everything she does as a woman over 50. And she's inspiring countless women and girls to do the same.
I think one of the greatest joys that I found in doing this is that I found that now I'm inspiring other women and girls and young kids in general. They think it's just so cool, driving the Porsche race car, and even my street car sort of looks like a race car. Sometimes my kids will say, oh, can you pick me up in the GT3 RS? They're proud. So I'm known as the race car driver mom. I think it's really empowering. Before they saw me as a successful businesswoman, yes, and as a mom. And now they can see that I myself can be successful on my own. I'm an independent woman, and I want to impart on all women that it's okay to dare to be different, just to be yourself, whatever that is. Someone might enjoy knitting. I enjoy race car driving. Whatever it is, to kind of remember us as women, especially in the middle age, to remember who we are and not to forget ourselves in the whole process of life.
But how can we as women who wear so many hats and who are constantly fulfilling the needs of others tap back into what fulfills us?
It's really about remembering what you love to do as a child, yourself, just you, without the responsibilities of college, work, family, life, business, career. Before all that happened, when you were sort of a teenager, what did you love to do? And I love to spend my time with horses. That was my passion, and they're still my passion. Did you enjoy writing or playing tennis? And then that's sort of a way of finding out, oh, let me try that again. And even if that doesn't appeal to someone, if let's say they pick up tennis again, but doing it, just being out there on the tennis court brings those old feelings of joy back and may open the door to other new exciting interests that they might want to pursue.
But how exactly do we do that?
Even asking, old friends, lifelong friends, what was I like? What was I like at 10 or 8 or 6 or 12 or 15? Kind of to jog the memory of who we were. What did we like? How were we funny? What was our thing when we were growing up?
She's found success in 2 male-dominated industries, earned 2 Masters of Science degrees, and won 3 championships. What's next for Martina?
This year was kind of a huge year for me because I was asked by Celine, it's an American car company, to drive their S1 race car in the Blancpain GT World Challenge Series, which was a huge honor. And so I'm hoping to continue driving my own Porsche 911, as well as we're in discussions with Celine for the 2020 season. So I'm excited for the future.
And what has racing taught Martina about herself?
Well, you need a lot of discipline. It's not something, you really need seat time. You need the experience. You can't just jump in and start swimming, basically. So that's sometimes frustrating. And so in racing, nothing is guaranteed. And so that's one of the biggest things, is that you have to go in open-minded. Anything can happen to prevent you from reaching your goal. And so there's a lot of sort of psychology involved. One of the greatest things I've learned from my coach and love of my life, Dwayne Dement, he reminds me of the quote from Bruce Lee, which is, "Be like water, my friend." On the racetrack, driving like your water is just smoothly, focus, calm is really the best way to get around the track and through life in general, being smooth and calm.
Smooth and calm. It sounds nice, doesn't it? But what about those times we're feeling neither smooth nor calm?
There's some days when you're really not feeling great. It's time to get off the track. Maybe today is not the day. You've won enough first places, so what if you're second today, kind of thing. And it's time to just get off and not endanger yourself or other people. So I think that's important, to know yourself and your boundaries, whatever it is, and to say enough for today. Other than that, when I get in the car, in order to sort of release the nervous energy, I'll blow into my hands 3 times, just let it out, just getting in the moment. And again, I think the competitive spirit takes over, and I just have to get it done.
Setting boundaries and creating connection are just 2 qualities that make Martina a true 40 thriver.
It's okay to be yourself. I also feel that so many friendships are based on superficialities and a little bit of pretense. And I think when we allow ourselves to open up to a select few girlfriends, we find that we all share similar experiences. The rewards of a wonderful relationship can happen when we're honest about who we are and we share some deeper details that then we find the world has opened up and so many other people have experienced the same things. So not to be afraid to kind of show yourself. And if someone doesn't like you, forget it. There are many more people. It's okay. Not everyone's going to like you. But I just feel that relationships that are based on more honest interactions are just so much more rewarding.
To connect with Martina, visit martinakwan.com. And if Martina's story has inspired you, please consider sharing this episode with a friend. Until next time, take care and keep thriving.